My name is Jordan, and I have a project called Hypoglycemic Runner. And I started this project so that I could kind of challenge myself to do something a little bit extra. And who doesn't want to be a little bit extra in their life, you know? So, um, it is January 21st, 2020. It's a Tuesday instead of a Sunday, and I was kind of hoping to update all of these on Sundays. That way, it's 52 videos in one whole year. I'm expecting this project to take me probably 2.5 years, if not a little bit longer than that. Only because, um, I don't know, I just think it's going to take me a really long time to figure out how to do this properly and not negatively affect my body. That's the biggest thing, is that uh, if I want to have that much endurance to run a half marathon, that is a lot of endurance. That's a lot of endurance and stamina just for a normal person. Um, Putting in my hypoglycemia, that's going to affect how I run on a metabolic level. Dictionary.com says that hypoglycemia is the abnormally low level of glucose in the blood. And that affects me in many different ways. It basically just means that my body cannot sustain itself without food every couple of hours. Um, that basically means that it does not use fat reserves properly. My pancreas doesn't work that well. I am not a doctor, so I am not um, really someone to look for to give advice. The only thing that I am going to talk about is my experience. And when I was a kid, if I had too much sugar, which is pretty often because I love everything chocolate, um, I would get incredibly depressed and I would get so sad. I'm like, oh my goodness, life is so hard. It's terrible. It's whatever, and I can't stand it. Then my mother would hand me a piece of cheese and everything would be fine. Now that I'm an adult, um, I get really, really angry. And I'm not talking hangry. It's where everybody else is angry and they actually need food and then they're fine. It's like I need food. Otherwise, I could get the shakes. I could get dizzy. I could feel nauseous. I could go, if it gets really, really bad, I could go into a sugar coma, which can, in fact, eventually lead to death. But that is extreme circumstances. Um, I have had one time where I really should have eaten, uh, but anyway, that's a different story. So, anyway, hypoglycemia really affects my body, and if stamina is the game I'm playing, then I have to train my body to be better at running long distance. So, this past week, I was able to walk 4 times this past week, which was great. But then it's New England. I live in New Hampshire. It's freezing cold this week. So there were a couple of times where I was not gonna come out walking. There's either too much snow or too much ice, and I don't really feel like falling on my butt. So, um, the loop around my neighborhood is about zero point 0.4 of a mile, which I think is pretty great because then I can measure myself. I use this app. I think it's called Adidas Running app, and it's great because I can put my location on and then go for a run, and it will time me. And my zero point 0.4 of a run is around 6 minutes 45 seconds. My hope is that if I can jog slash speed walk, all of that was walking, by the way, I didn't run that slow. Um, if I can if I can speed walk in or run at this point at 5 minutes for half a mile, that would make my 1 mile time 10 minutes, which is fantastic. My hope is that I can get my mile down to 10 minutes, which means that a half marathon would probably take me about 2.5 hours ish. Um, and half a marathon is from Claremont, New Hampshire, basically my address, all the way to my friend's address in Newport, New Hampshire, which is freaking incredible. And I cannot believe that that's how far I want to walk. That's how far I want to jog, and that's the level of stamina that I'm thinking of. That means, you know, am I going to have to bring glucose tablets with me? Am I going to have to bring extra water? Am I going to have to just, am I going to have to practice this with a couple of my friends at different, at different spots along the way and see if my body can handle it. I might get halfway and then all of a sudden my body is just like, no, you cannot go any further. You cannot walk any further because we can't sustain this level of exercise anymore. I have no idea, and that's exactly why I'm allowing myself to be slow and be methodical with this because I don't want to hurt my body, but I want to do something awesome. So that means I'm gonna have to take it a little slower. Um, so yeah, that's this week. I'm sure I've made some slight dietary, mishaps or leniences or whatever. But I want to get better at that. And um, it's just a work in progress. So this is it's just a work in progress. But anyway, yeah. Running. Bye.